President Trump no longer in Washington, but still dealing with a looming Senate trial right now. And joining us now to talk about this, the executive director of the American Center for Law and Justice and a member of President Trump's legal team, Jordan Sekulow. Thanks so much for being with us. Welcome back to the show. Good to see you on the first day of the first full day of the Biden administration.
That's right.
The loyal opposition. You know, I wanted to ask you right off the top. I heard about this potential quid pro quo, which may have happened when it came to these pardons by the president. So Julian Assange not pardoned. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and many others have been very vocal about their lack of interest, shall we say, in pardoning Assange. Have you heard anything to the effect of, if President Trump decided not to pardon Assange, Schumer would make sure that the impeachment was not pursued in earnest in the Senate after he left the White House?
No, I've not. And I think that to trust any of those leaders, if any of those kind of conversations went on, would be foolish. They have been committed. And I think you saw with the first press conference last night, Rob, with Jen Psaki, who is a professional communications person. As first time as White House press secretary, she was asked if President Biden would step in and tell, Pelosi and Schumer, this goes against my entire message and speech from yesterday. So cancel this, just stop this move against a former president. Don't try a private citizen. And she said, I think the Senate can do two things at once and let it be there. And that's what we've heard from Joe Biden, is that he's hoping that the Senate parliamentarian issues a ruling that says they can spend half the day confirming his nominees and working on legislation he wants to propose, and then the other half of the day impeaching a private citizen of the United States, hoping that they get enough votes so that private citizen maybe can't run again for president of the United States against potentially Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. So yeah, I think
I didn't realize it could be that efficient in the House and Senate.
Yeah, I don't either. And I was on the team for the first impeachment trial, and it is serious. The senators don't speak. They write questions on cards. It's presided over by the Chief Justice. There's now discussion. Patrick Leahy, the Democrat senator, he is the president pro tem of the Senate. And he's saying, well, maybe I'll oversee it because it is a private citizen now and not the actual president. So they're already indicating that what the Constitution says is not what they are doing.
Yeah.
And so I think it would be great, because I think Joe Biden is probably the only person, President Biden, who could step in and say, you're stomping all over what I'm trying to do in our country. But this is my first test for him. And I think we saw it from his press secretary. If they don't, we expect the impeachment article, there's only one, to arrive as early as today or sometime next week. I mean, that's the kind of track that the House and the
Jordan,
Senate are still on.
I don't know why Joe Biden, this is the most popular he's going to be over the next 4 years. Day one, you're generally the most popular. Why doesn't he just, take that goodwill out for a test drive and throw his weight around a little bit and say, listen, let's pump the brake on the impeachment of President Trump and move forward with the business of the American people, and America United, his theme from yesterday. I want to ask you about President Trump's final speech at Joint Base Andrews yesterday. He said he's going to be back in some form, possibly forming his own party, the Patriot Party. Your thoughts?
I'm not sure about that. I think that there were people around him talking about this idea of forming a party, but I was also very involved before President Trump in defending groups like the Tea Party at the American Center for Law and Justice. So they became kind of part of the Republican Party. So you can have these kind of movements that then join up and actually kind of take charge of. And President Trump did that in a sense to the Republican Party. It is pretty difficult to start a political party at the national level. And I think weighing all that, it's a lot of talk. I will tell you this, that the president and his team that we're a part of is considering, taking some time here and considering the next moves. Obviously, he's been silenced on a lot of social media. And so the only way for him really to speak is by hosting an event or doing an interview. But I do believe that, as the president said, this is not the end for him or his movement. And of course, he's got a lot of people that kind of surrounded him, his family, who could run for office, but also those who were very close to him as well in the administration, some of those cabinet secretaries as well that you could see, I think, on the ballots in the future.
It is going to be interesting to see it play out. We've got an open invitation to the president to call into our show anytime he wants. Jordan Sekulow, thank you so much for your time. I will say it was very bizarre yesterday not being able to watch the inauguration and then go to President Trump's Twitter feed to see what his thoughts were. It was.
Yes, it was. It is
had the
bizarre
impulse to
that
do
they
it.
have silenced the president.
He's not there. Yeah, Jordan Sekulow, thank you. Great to see you again.